Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the farm.
Welcome back.
So, 2 years ago, in September of 2022, we sat down to do a little chat with everybody about things that we learned our very first year here on the farm. We purchased this farm in end of August of 2021. We loaded up the moving trucks and moved here in September of that year and got right to work building what is Gardening Gays Farm today. But during that conversation, we had a part two that we never actually put on YouTube.
Somebody didn't edit.
Lots of people have asked us for that video over the years, and we decided this was a great time to finally share it.
Why is it a great time now?
Because we are starting to look back over 2025 and think about what is on the vision board now. And it's always nice. We always say that we do these vlogs as a living journal for ourselves, also to, first and foremost, to see the things that we said we wanted to do, see what we've accomplished. And it's also a bit of a pulse check and a living diary for us to see where we've been and to make adjustments on where we might be going. So it's going to be
So if I can read between the lines, sounds like he's going to make a 4-year recap video.
Dragon has requested that we do one.
No, I'll hold the camera. You can tell people.
So we will plan to do that in the coming weeks as well to share with you here. Coming weeks, yes, very soon. But in the meantime, we're going to
maybe they have some questions for that.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. If you have questions on things that you like to know about how we operate here that
we didn't cover,
or something that you see in this video that you're about to watch now that has come to fruition, or something that maybe didn't that we talked about, let us know. Leave a note down in the comments and we can address it when Dragon does his sit-down interview to do his 2025 year in review. In the meantime, we hope you guys enjoy this look back. We look a lot different 3 years later.
I look a lot younger. Many people saying that.
And there are lots of things that have taken place since then, and lots more things that we know will take place in the future. And we are just so happy that all of you are along with us for the ride.
Well, Kevin, seen the video editing. I haven't, so I have no idea. I don't remember what was in it. So I'm looking forward to seeing the video just like you guys. So I might have some questions too. So let's watch it. Let's see it.
We'll see you guys soon. Hi, everybody, and welcome back. This is going to be part two of our talk, which is kind of on our year in review about lessons that we've learned over the last 12 months being here on the farm, and kind of getting into a few more details about some of those things, some of our wins, some of our losses, and finish on talking about what's on our vision board for the near future.
Let's do it.
All right, so we sat down and kind of looked at some of the things that were worth sharing, and also kind of as a way to check in with ourselves, which we try to do anyways on a regular basis. So our first question that we want to talk about is what have you learned about yourself? What have you learned about your land? And what have you learned about your community? So we're going to start first kind of breaking those three things down, and we'll each share a little bit about what we've learned about ourselves over the past year.
So Kevin, what did you learn about yourself?
I learned that it's okay for Dragon to go first.
What? No. So my two are kind of bonded into one. First thing would be to believe in yourself, and second thing is the skills that I've learned as a child. Despite how small of a farm we owned, they're still there, and those are quite valuable skills. Amazingly, I grew up hating to farm. I never thought that I was going to do this full time, and now I don't think that I want to do anything else. I've done hospitality industry for over 20 years, and I enjoy it. I still enjoy cooking. I enjoy pleasing people with my food, but this gave me another outlet where I can meet people and still have that customer service experience with people, new people, but doing it on my own terms. And this has definitely been a valuable lesson. So believing in myself and having an amazing support, somebody who believes in you. So that's my lesson.
Remind people where you're from for those who might not
I was
know.
born in Croatia, Eastern Europe, Croatia. I was born in a small town of 4,000 people where everybody knew everybody. We grew pretty much everything that we had, and rarely we would buy some stuff. But pretty much we lived off of land. So that was my first 18 years of my life. So.
And my lesson that I learned about myself is that it's okay to let go. I have a hard time letting go of things and people and places, and
He's letting go of me. There you have it. Exclusively right here.
That's not what I said at all. But Dragon knows kind of along the way throughout our journey, and anytime our coleus plants are a great example that, he's always been a firm believer in sharing everything back so that I can have an opportunity to flush back even more lush and beautiful. But I got so caught up in how it looks now that I couldn't see beyond that. And owning a farm and operating a farm really teaches you to let go, because everything is so seasonal and you can't get attached to things. Like everything is temporary, and to live in the moment a whole lot more, which is what the last 12 months have really kind of brought to the forefront for me.
Awesome. Next thing, what did we learn about
The land, yep.
Why don't you start with that one?
I'm still learning. Like it's fairly new. There's 27 acres that we have here. A lot of it we have yet to start to put into rotation for its intended use, of what we plan to use it for at least. And so I think that it's going to always be a learning process, even with your crops, rotating crops year after year, and seeing how things might grow differently in different parts of our market garden. So I think that's going to be an ongoing lesson about what am I learning, from the land.
Yeah, definitely. We knew when we bought, for me, we knew when we bought this property that this property had a potential, but just spending a year here, it really opened up my eyes what true potential of this property is. Like everything that we dreamed about this farm, it is definitely doable on this space that we have here. So it's really eye-opening a year later to see. I don't want to say how easy doable it is, but how doable it is. Everything that we plan to do for this property, I'm really looking forward to next couple of years. It's still definitely going to be a challenging years to get there, but potential of this property is just amazing.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the big draw was the amount of acreage that we have, and the amount of cleared land that we have here allows us to continue to dream and to change those dreams as things go along. So that's another really exciting thing, is we don't feel like we're boxed in, or we don't have the amount of space or the infrastructure, or hopefully, the ability to develop whatever we need on this piece of property to continue to provide what we've started providing so far for the community.
Another thing about this region here that we learned, it has its own weather pattern, especially when it comes to rain. For those of you that don't know, we are located between two rivers in Virginia, and Virginia's northern neck, which is northeast United States. For those of you that are internationally, we are located between Rappahannock River and
The Potomac River.
Potomac River on one side. So, and those are both of those rivers have delta here, right? That go into the
He's asking me a scientific question.
they
I don't
go
know.
into the ocean here. Yeah, so right, ocean is fairly close by. Yeah, ocean is fairly close by, so they'll go into the ocean here. So that affects our weather drastically. So it's warmer, so we're in zone 7A, but we're almost warm enough for close to 7B or 8. But that also affects our rain patterns being between two rivers, and we experienced that on a big scale this season, this summer, how either we'll get massive amounts of rain in a short amount of time. If there's a big storm coming, all these smaller storms are so easy diverted by rivers, one on one side of us or the other side of us, so we get missed by the rain so much. So having hopefully infrastructure for irrigation next year is going to be huge for us.
Yeah, for sure. That's going to be a major game changer. That was also one of our biggest
shout.
question marks moving to this area, was how being between those two rivers was going to affect our rain, and not in the best way that we would have wanted it to, because we see the rain clouds, and a lot of times it looks like we are at the epicenter of something major that's about to go down, and it just kind of starts coming and closing in on our pasture and completely disappears.
And we talked to locals too, and they said, yeah, that's King George. That's how weather is in King George. You will get missed by those summer rains quite a lot. So
Yeah.
we need to prepare for that for next season, definitely. Speaking of talking to community, what about community? What did we learn about community?
So what I've learned about our community, they really bring to the forefront something that a professor in college would constantly tell us, and that's that people are inherently good, and those who live here in King George have shown that time and time again. Everybody makes you feel like you're family that have come back home. You know, everybody wants to come and give you a hug, and they're so appreciative and very protective of what we have and what we're developing here. So that's been just an unexpected welcome that we've received in this community. It's been, we can't understate how amazing it's been.
Absolutely. Yeah, so community support has been definitely just amazing, and seeing how much community appreciates what we're doing here. It's just so encouraging to work, leaving DC politics and everything behind and coming here as a gay couple. We didn't know what to expect, but we didn't even think about politics, to be honest, and it's been just, we are focused on just building this farm here and building a future in this amazing community that we literally stumbled upon.
Yeah, I mean, we've had friends who have at the beginning questioned what would our farm name be. Gardening Gays Farm, like that's who we've always been, or have expressed concern about us putting a big sign up at our entrance now that says gays on it. But we don't live in fear. You can't live your life that way, and we believe that we're good people doing a good thing and trying to connect with other good people here in the community, and that's been reciprocated. So that's how we will continue to move forward.
Other thing that I've learned about this community, this is a farming community. We are surrounded by farms. Just our neighbor, he farms on 400 acres, I believe. He's a commercial farmer, and as much as we are surrounded by farms, commercial farms, people mostly grow soybeans, grains, wheat, rye, or corn. There is such a lack of fresh produce on a farm, and by us doing this, that's why we have such a great response from community, especially in the sense that we actually have our farm stand on the site, on the property, and people literally can't see where exactly we go. When they pull up, park their car, there's our garden, and our tomato plants are right there. So sometimes people are even surprised, oh, you don't have any tomatoes. Oh, let me check, let me run to the garden and literally pick fresh tomatoes for them. So they really enjoy that fact. So
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Let's see. What do you plan to do differently next season?
Definitely managing flower patch better. I was rushing to just to plant everything in and have everything in the ground, and with that we missed some opportunities in what are the blooming times of some flowers, what are the just kind of having flowers available all season long, and some of it will be fixed with irrigation, but a lot of stuff was bit rushed in then. So
We also talks about operating our farm stand longer, starting it earlier during the year, but all that comes also too with planning and having spent this first growing season learning about the land and the community and what people want from their locally sourced food producers and farm to table options. All of that information is just a wealth of knowledge that we didn't have last year that we have now going into our planning phase for the next growing season.
Yeah, absolutely. We're definitely looking to expand growing space. Flower patch is going to stay in those two big areas that we have. I believe they are 50 by 120. They're going to stay. I think that's just a matter of managing that space better. I think that we can get a lot more flowers out of that space if we manage it way better. But we will expand on the amount of fresh produce that we produce from this space for the next year, definitely.
Talks about our expanded egg production and our breeder stock as well.
So yeah, we started with 35 chicks, I believe, a year ago, last September, and we thought there was going to be plenty of chickens to have to go around. We love breakfast. We love fresh eggs. We pretty much eat 6-7 eggs a day every morning. That's just breakfast. And then with 35 chickens, we will get about on when they are in full production close to 32 eggs. But we quickly realized what the demand is for eggs here in the area, fresh farmed eggs, and people love coming to the farm. When they park the car, they see our chickens out in a pasture just free ranging, so they'll appreciate the quality of our eggs, and we definitely looking to expand our layer flock. So we have currently about 70 chickens that are up starting to lay. We have 35 from last year, 35 from this spring, and then we have another almost 50, 60, I believe, baby chicks that are about a month old that are gonna start laying probably sometime in January. In that flock, we also have some high demand breeds of chickens that are going to these swaps that we talked about, animal swaps that are high demand breeds of chickens. We're looking to have some breeding stock of them so we can also have some income from that.
And then we touched on irrigation, but irrigation and weed control also too for next year. We'll be changing how we'll putting in irrigation because we haven't had any. I mean, even with the amount of pumpkins that we got.
Our irrigation was a sprinkler and a trench that you've seen. I believe we did a video on
that. On digging a trench next to the row of plants, tomatoes, peppers, everything in the vegetable garden, the watermelon also too. The one thing that never got anything other than rainwater all season was our pumpkin patch.
And that will hopefully change next year.
Yeah.
We already bought a weed barrier fabric for market garden that we did the first garden. But we'll definitely look into hopefully purchase some more of that weed fabric, and in the next, hopefully by next year we can cover all the areas that we want to cover with weed, because we spend quite a lot of time just weeding and staying ahead of the weeds, so that will free up some time to have better quality products out the stand too. So
Yeah. So the next thing on our list to talk about are regrets. What are your regrets over the first season?
I think for me it's one, and my biggest regret was trying to make everything perfect first year and just rushing into stuff, and in particular was with the flower patch. My picture of that flower patch where we can have you pick your own flowers. I wanted to have 3-foot rows of planted flowers, 3-foot row of walking space, mulched. Every walking space should have been mulched. So we got those 2 truckloads of wood chips and mulch, and it's been such a challenge just to get that everything down. And when, in fact, after doing this year, it would have been fine without that mulch there. We probably would have done much better. Could have spent a lot more time planting versus doing those rows of mulch and mulching everything down. So,
And for me, one of the regrets over the past year has been continuing to wait on other people to do things that they said they were going to do. I think that Dragon and I treat everybody the way that as if they do business the same way that we do. You know, if we say we're going to do something, we're going to do it. And we gave everybody the benefit of the doubt and waited for them to pull through and come through with the things that they said they were going to do. And we never had a plan B. We didn't have enough backups for when those people failed us. So I think, you know, putting too much faith in other people without having those backup plans will be one of my regrets. It's something that we have to adjust.
what there is, you know, we still don't have any heavy equipment, so we depend on other people for any major tillings, any major moving anything major on our property. We depend on other people, and we understand people have other jobs, their personal things to do, but it's always challenging when, you know, people say, "Oh, I'll be there Tuesday to take care of that," and doesn't show up Tuesday, doesn't call, there's no call, and then we are just left hanging. And after that, it will show up Wednesday like nothing happened. And for us, it's important to stick to the schedule, because we plan our everything based on that. So.
And when they say time is money, like in this case, it really is, because if we get thrown off of our schedule and being able to get things in the ground, then we're unable to harvest things on time. We're not able to meet the demand. We're unable to, you know, provide things on a schedule to customers. So it really becomes trying to be able to stick to your word and stick to a timetable.
Yeah, purchasing a tractor, it's up high on our list, our own tractor, and having not having to depend on other people on this, because it just trickles down on everything else that we do. So unfortunately, so we will hope that we can get that taken care of in next year or so. So
yeah. So now we're going to talk about our wins and losses, but we're going to start with the losses first. Going to start with the losses. If people say you want the good news or the bad news, we take the bad news first.
All right, let's get the bad news out of the way. One of the first planting of on the farm, we did 32 hydrangeas that we propagated from hydrangeas from our townhome along our driveway, right underneath pine trees that are lined up on our driveway. We wanted to beautify that area because we noticed it was just lacking life. But we made a decision probably too fast. We didn't realize how much life those pine trees are sucking out of that soil around them, and those out of those 30 hydrangeas, surprisingly they survived winter. That was what surprised us. But what became more challenging was afterwards. We didn't have irrigation for them, and then they were just struggling to have any moisture or any feed. So we do have, I think, not a handful that survive, but we're definitely going to have to revisit and take care of that area differently. We're actually planning on removing all of those pine trees and planting something else, and then probably we're gonna redo that entire area then. So.
Yeah. Vegetable wise, onions, we planted lots of onions this year, and that was a disappointing crop that came up.
Yeah, not sure. We had a really wet July, and that was when they ripened. But we had so much rain that they got so wet, then they were rotting right in the ground. So I'm not sure what happened, but most likely it's the amount of rain that rained on them this season. So the second thing is our dahlia patch. We planted five
rows, yeah.
50-foot rows of dahlias, and they were supposed to be a major contributor to our market garden. You guys know how well dahlias, once you get dahlias going, I mean, they produce some beautiful, beautiful flowers. They don't have a best vase life. Unfortunately, their vase life is fairly short, between 4 to 5 days, but you can really have some nice varieties. So we planted 10, 12 varieties, I believe. We planted them in May, and again we had a really rainy May. Beginning of May was really rainy, and dahlias typically don't like too much water while they are in tubers in the ground, and we lost 90% of them pretty much. Only about I think we planted about 70 dahlias, and only about a dozen of them popped up. And for a good month, I was nurturing those dozen dahlias in the 5 rows, and finally after that there was more weed there than there's dahlia. I finally just decided to just take it as a loss and till that ground back again. I planted some sunflowers that we actually recently harvested. So
yeah. We also struggled with the groundhog issue. But the groundhogs we've seen since the first day that we came out to the property to start viewing this property. So we knew that we had that nuisance issue. And it's been kind of an ongoing thing, even with recently as a month ago, we had some of our ornamental cabbage sitting in pots getting some sun in the front yard area, away from anywhere that we've seen a groundhog before, and it managed to find them and destroy over 50 of them.
All 50 plants.
Yeah.
The biggest area that affected was our raised bed garden there, where it ate out all of our cucumbers, so ate out and pretty much anything that we planted there. It was just stripped down so we between weeds that I mentioned in previous video that we struggled with in those raised beds and groundhogs, so that was quite a challenging year. So we hope to improve that next year.
Yeah, for sure. And then last on our losses list is pumpkins. As
surprisingly pumpkins, yes.
As many pumpkins as we planted, we didn't get the big bang for all the hard work that we thought we put into them. And some of you right now are saying, well, didn't you just say that you didn't even water them except for rainwater? But that being said, also too, just the yield that we got just kind of really wasn't there. The smaller varieties did way better than the larger decorative pumpkins did, and we had some of the edible pumpkins and baking pumpkins that did really well. And there's a few of those that we've enjoyed eating and will likely bring back because they've been a hit. But that's one area that is going to take a major overhaul next year.
Squash bug pressure was just insane. I mean, we did go right before pumpkins started veining out. went to each plant and squashed any bug eggs that we saw. But unfortunately, you have to plant the pumpkins, and when summer it's kind of already in the full season. With the summer heat, squash bugs are right on. Like I said, we are surrounded with commercial farms, and people spray for the most stuff, and we don't spray for any, use any chemicals in any of our gardens. So that was a free for all buffet for any of those bugs, and definitely our pumpkin crop felt that. So.
Yeah. All right, enough about the death and destruction. Let's get to some of the good news. Let's talk about some of our wins.
We had those?
We did, absolutely. Yeah.
What's the biggest win?
Being here. Just being here.
Absolutely.
We were sitting down, formulating our thoughts for this, and Dragon is saying, does it sound too cheesy if I say, having this house, this farm? And while I saw him thinking, I wrote down being here, and I just picked up the paper and I showed it to him.
Yeah, being here, I mean, that's the biggest win. It is definitely spending a year here, definitely solidified our decision. Well, that we definitely made the right decision moving here and doing what we want to do.
Yeah, for sure. The garden overall, even the things that might have seemed challenging, like it was still a huge win. All the stuff that we grew in, I was constantly shocked and amazed, just as a human being who's never grown this much food on a large scale, how much you can grow and to be able to grow enough to share with people. Like it just really gives me such a greater appreciation for farmers.
Absolutely. I mean, despite we harvested almost 300 potatoes out of our 3 50-foot rows. Despite the pressure of potato beetles, I mean, I was for some time, for a couple of weeks, I was there every day just shaking them off and picking them. But we still managed to harvest some great potatoes that I don't think that we're going to have to buy any potatoes for entire winter, maybe even till next season. So
yeah,
same with tomatoes. Yeah, we only planted. What did I say, about 50 plants of tomatoes. We didn't have enough to supply our farm stand daily, but it really opened our eyes how much we can harvest from such a space.
Yeah, I mean, even our there was cabbage and kale that we bought starts from an auction, and that paid for itself in dividends from being able to put all that stuff in the harvest baskets that we made, and then supplementing that as feed for our rabbits.
Yes, they love kale, yeah, so that was a huge, definitely. Yeah, we just planted 4 or 5 rows of kale, I believe, for the fall. So, I mean, we're looking forward just to have that for our rabbits. What else we have?
Flowers.
Flowers, yeah, absolutely. I mean, despite that fail of dahlias, and despite I guess you can say mismanagement, better word would be lack of experience and lack of knowledge with this land, how this gonna. We still had an amazing season with our flowers. We could have done way better if we managed it better, but we had a really great first year.
Yeah.
Response from people about the flowers, demand is there. We can definitely see great potential for that flower patch.
Yeah, I mean, we still have people. We had folks showing up to the market yesterday, still looking for flowers. Disappointed that the patch is gone, because I took some video of the dragon out there on the bush hog just mowing it all down.
Yeah, and unfortunately, we just did not get rain for 3-4 weeks, and the zinnias just took it hard. There was no recovery after that. They were already almost 4 feet tall, and you can't recover a plant after that. It was just done. I was actually walking earlier, and there's little zinnias that are from flowers that they seeded themselves. Unfortunately, frost will kill off those.
Yeah. Our going to the swaps and the animal swaps and making connections with those animal swaps is an opportunity for farmers to go and to sell their animals. Anytime I mention animal swaps to friends, are like, "Oh, what did you guys get now? What did you trade?" It's like they think you're swapping out your animals with someone else.
Yeah, definitely making connections with people and seeing what the demand is of the from the farmers. So it gives us opportunity to, offload some of the animals that we have, and make some great connections. So that's been a huge plus for us for this year.
Yeah, and to diversify, our own flock and our own livestock. If we see something and talking to other farmers and finding out the quality and care that they put into their animals, and to see how your values align, that makes us even more eager to buy from those friends that we've made in the farming community.
Absolutely.
Another big one, I don't know if we've mentioned it yet, is watermelon.
Oh no, we didn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
Watermelon was huge success for us. We planted 3 varieties of watermelon. We planted Sugar Bay, which is a small variety that stays a little compact. It's more of about 10-12 pound watermelon. Then we planted Crimson Sweet, that is about 20-pound watermelon. It's your commonly found in grocery store. That's most of your grocery store watermelons are Crimson Sweet. And then we have that oval variety that everybody just loved.
Jubilee.
It's Jubilee, which was really, really great because they grew, we averaged about 30 pound.
Yeah, or a little more.
A little over 30 pounds they averaged on our patch. And at first people were really hesitant to buy them because you're buying this 30-pound watermelon and people are not sure because you're so used to grocery store watermelon and knocking and tapping and looking for a yellow spot and all these old wives' tales on how to pick a ripe watermelon, and when actually pretty much it doesn't matter. It's all about when farmer picks that watermelon.
If you didn't pick it, you have no idea.
It's a really 50-50 chance that you're gonna find a good watermelon in the grocery store unless that farmer picked it at the right time. So I've watched quite a few videos on YouTube about the watermelon, and most important thing is cutting off irrigation about week to 10 days prior to harvest, and that really worked great because it made our watermelon extremely sweet. So cutting out the water kind of stops watermelon from absorbing water, but what it also does with that is that concentrates all the sugars in it, so it becomes more sweeter and sweeter. And boy, was our watermelon sweet!
Yeah.
So once people started buying those, few people that buy that Jubilee, the big Jubilee, and started posting it on Facebook, and that just then took off. We could not keep those Jubilees here, so that was really awesome. So,
yeah, and having those also to helped to really propel the farm stand throughout the summer months, and being able to offer those while everything else, while all the other vegetables were coming in. And then that farm stand again has been another big thing in our win column.
Yes.
Being able to meet people in the community and to listen to them talk about the lack of what we were offering here in the community has been heartwarming, and again reassuring us that we're on the right path.
Absolutely. Yeah, we have kind of a open door policy for the farm. While farm stand is open, we keep our Facebook page up to date on when we are open, when we are not, but we have somewhat of a open door policy. People are always welcome to stop by and see what do we grow and where do they, everything that they buy on our farm, they can absolutely see how we grow it and when we grow it. We post occasionally on our social medias, looking to get better at YouTube videos. But we try to communicate as much as we can what we have available, and they can see the process of how that produce got there, and then they really appreciate that, and everybody was so excited about it.
Yeah. So now that we've gone through kind of that list, let's finish off on talking about future plans and
Okay.
what's on the vision board. So what what's coming up for Garden Days Farm?
Sketching has started already. You guys seen the sketch of our flower market garden. So sketching has started for our next year already. We're already talking about expanding our watermelon patch to make it a lot bigger, and maybe planting it a little bit different. Again, managing those crops that we have to prolongate the season is going to be really important to us. We planted watermelon May 20th. Yeah, May 20th. We planted watermelon May 20th, and watermelon takes about 90 days to ripen, so that put us somewhere in the beginning of August, and when summer is kind of already halfway done. So next year we're looking to start at least half of the watermelons inside and then transplant them outside in a second crop direct seed, so that will give us a longer season of watermelon that we can offer to our customers.
Yeah, for sure. And then Dragon talked about sketching. Another major thing that we've started planning out is our orchard.
Yeah, we just started with looking to just to see how many actually trees do we want, how many trees we can fit in our orchard, and that number is
250.
close to 250 trees. What are we looking to plant?
Apples, cherries, apricots, plums, quinces. What else? Every time he asks
Peaches,
me,
nectarines,
I always say,
figs.
"Don't you have a list? Fill out your list."
Peaches, figs, nectarines. I would like to try some hardy pomegranate. Hopefully, I love pomegranates. Is one of my favorite fruits. I would definitely love to try that. I've heard there's some Russian pomegranate that can take zone 6, I believe, that I've seen. So I would love to try some. But yeah, we already tried a batch of our homemade peach jam, so we definitely want to have some peaches. So and then we're also looking to add some nuts, probably some hazelnuts and some walnuts to our patch. But that's going to be a major hit on our budget. Buying 250 trees. Fruit trees, it's a really huge undertaking that probably not gonna start paying off in probably it's gonna take at least 3 years to start seeing some fruit. With buying that many trees, we are with limited budget, and buying trees, we can't afford to buy a fully grown trees or 5-6 foot tree that's gonna give you a fruit next year. Unfortunately, with our budgets, we're going to have to buy smaller trees that will take probably a couple of years to get there. But once that gets there, we'll be all set. But definitely getting that orchard planted, it's a huge undertaking that we need to get down as soon as possible. So
yeah. Another major hit to the budget will be getting a tractor, because we need to have our own piece of heavy equipment, so that we can stay on schedule and know that when things get done, we have the ability to do those things ourselves without having to source them out.
Yeah, tractor is going to be a huge help. That's gonna take a lot of money, but it's going to take huge burden off our back, where we don't have to depend on other people, and we can make last minute decision if we want to change something, versus we had to. With last year, we had to till such a large area. We had a hard time getting people to get the ground ready for us to till it, so we had to till big area at the same time, even though that area wasn't ready for planting, which also required, we bought a smaller 18-inch tiller that required me going over retilling it over again, because we didn't plant stuff on right away, so weeds kind of started pushing through, so we had to retill it and we get that ground prep again. So
yeah. And on the animal front, we're hoping to at some point down the line add sheep and also pigs.
Sheep and pigs, yeah, those are two additions. Definitely sheep will help us with Right now our neighbor cuts our fields for hay. He has about 80 or 100 cattle that he has, beef cattle. But we definitely looking to get that in our use and get hopefully some lamb and offer some lamb meat to our customers. It would be nice to have that option along with our pasture raised chicken, and hopefully done maybe peak. Maybe try it out and see what, again, we're going to test it out like we did this year. We're going to test it out and see what demand is. We'd definitely love to see I haven't had homegrown pigs since I left Croatia, which was over 25 years ago. So I would love to see that. And Kevin, I don't think Kevin, he never had homegrown pigs, so I would love to show him how much. You can definitely see the difference in the taste and the color of the meat when you raise your own pig. So
also too, just kind of as part of the farm experience that we're hoping to have is transforming our smaller barn into our actual farm store.
absolutely, yeah, that's a bit of a longer plan. Hopefully, a couple of years with our farm stand will give us opportunity to save up some money and convert that smaller front side of our smaller barn into a storefront that will give people opportunity to buy fresh produce and buy fresh meats every day of the week instead of just waiting for Saturday. They will also, I was thinking about, we didn't put that down, I was thinking that that's one of the issues with our farm stand, doing the farm stand outside, is you can't really store that produce that you harvested. So if you have a large harvest of tomatoes and they didn't sell that day, unfortunately they're going to have to stay outside, or even if you bring them in, it's going to bring them into 70 degrees room temperature, and it would be nice to have a walk-in cooler where you can store it, that they will definitely prolong that shelf life. Mm-hmm. And not waste so much produce.
Yeah, yeah. And then on that same vein, being able to have things more year round also too, because when the weather is not good, like we are literally under a tent right now, operating our farm stand. So being indoors, you will get...
How many farm stands? I mean, how many
tents have we gone through? We've gone, I don't know, we've gone through at least 5 tents this season. So, the cut out the tent budget from having to replace so many tents from overuse or wind damage or different things will also be nice. But then people will get that, that more elevated experience when they come here. You're still going to be parking right where the food is being grown. You will still have free reign to walk around and look at all the animals. And then you'll be able to walk into a store and buy things that are better displayed, and you will have more options also too when you come in.
Longer too.
Yeah, so. Yeah. And then a pond also too is something we would love to have dug out on the property down the line.
Yeah, definitely down closer to the creek. If you've seen any of our previous walkthroughs videos that we did, there's a place down by our creek where we would love to add a pond where we can eventually let our ducks go to and expand our duck flock and all that. So that's also in the big plans.
Yeah, and then because we are on well water, but we have just the one well that supplies to the house and the farm. So it would be nice to have an irrigation well dug so that we can have something, a dedicated water source for all of the produce and the crops that we're growing, so that we don't find ourselves in trouble.
Yeah, just having a bigger, I don't know how much our pump is going to handle if we keep irrigating from that same pump. It would be nice to have a bigger capacity pump that will easily irrigate entire field that we're trying to raise the crops on.
Yeah. And then with all of that being done, ultimately having an event space here to be able to have farm to table experience here, or customer appreciation cocktail hours, or being able to rent out the space, potentially to small groups who want to come and do something here people have seen that tree house that is where the orchard will be in that pasture. Everybody loves that tree house, but it's from day one it was always on the list to be taken down, and it finally saw the end of its life here not that long ago. But what's planned for that space, you won't even remember that it was there.
So, oh, we forgot to mention we would like to put the new siding on the big barn and make that a little more animal friendly. We would like to move majority of our animals into big barn because right now we howling. We have to store the grains and feed in a big barn and then bring it back into the chicken coop whenever we, running low. Because just the mice pressure in the chicken coop, we tried keeping in the chicken coop, but there was just a heavy mice pressure there, and it was bringing snakes into the coop. So we just had to remove the grain from there. Right now we store it in a small batch of them in big barrels, but majority of the grain we keep it in the barn. So it would be nice to refinish the sides of that barn and get the animals there. So everything is in one spot and a lot more accessible and easier to work with.
Yeah, I think that covers it.
Does it?
Yeah.
That's it.
That's nothing left on my list.
I'll add one that we probably forgot. It would be nice to expand the driveway. We also need to expand the driveway. We noticed with we have a single lane driveway that leads to a major highway, and when on a busy day, especially on the day that we had flower bar, we noticed how that can be a potentially hazardous for the people that are coming in and out. So it would be nice to expand that driveway with the 2 lane that two cars can come in and out, and it would be safer for people to merge back to the major highway. So
Yeah, for sure.
big plans, definitely big plans with limited budget, but we think we can do it. We have to manage what we do and plan accordingly, and I think we can get there. It will take us a couple of years. Hopefully, guys, you're up for that ride, but I think we can get there.
Yeah. You think or you know?
I believe we can get there.
I
believe we can get there. I believe we can get there, definitely.
Yeah. So, I mean, I hope this was educational. I know we tried to also to answer a lot of questions or talk about some of the things that we've shared in smaller settings with people that have come to the farm or been here, and we try to be an open book, like Dragon mentioned, and transparent about everything that we're doing. Things don't always work out. We also have to remind ourselves to sometimes view our farm through the eyes of other people who are visiting it. Because a lot of people show up and they are wide-eyed with amazement and excitement and talking about all the great things that we've done or we're doing, and all we see are the things that we need to do.
Yes.
So we have to remind ourselves to flip our perspective on that too as well, to appreciate a little bit more what we've accomplished.
Absolutely. So we'll keep you posted. We'll definitely get better at posting videos more often. It was just a challenging summer for us with just a sheer amount of work with Kevin getting stuck in Singapore with COVID and all that. It was a recording. You have to understand, recording a video while you're working, it will take you probably twice as long, or not 3 times longer to finish the same assignment. If something takes 1 hour, it will take you probably 2.5, 3 hours to finish it. So it was just a matter of planting everything, getting everything into ground versus actually recording a video. So we chose to get everything done, and I think we did okay.
Yeah. And a lot of people don't realize too, Dragon, is a full-time farmer. And I have a day job. Luckily, I work from home, so I'm able to pop out and help him on things. But a lot of times he's out there taking on these big tasks and trying to stick to the schedule, by himself. And so it does become a little more challenging to set up a tripod and set up a camera and test the microphones. But as we get all of the better foundation laid of things that will free up our time, the irrigation and all those types of things, so that we can devote time to, I guess, tending to things that are producing versus trying to eradicate things that aren't. Then that will free up our resources and our time to take you guys along for the journey on a little more regular basis.
Absolutely. Until then, thank you guys for sticking along with us this time, and I hope to see you back on the next video.
That's right. Thank you guys so much. Stay safe out there. We'll see you soon.
Bye-bye. Cut! Ugh.